Cool. All right. Welcome to today's episode, everyone. Here at the Art of the Scale, we have with us today an exciting guest. For those of you joining the podcast, we are the Crimson Partner. We partner with SaaS and tech companies hand in hand to help them scale revenue. So if you want to know how we could possibly help you break your plateaus, take you from bottleneck to bullneck, and help you burn the churn, simply comment Crimson below. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us today Tariq Kamal from Tecziq. Great to have you, Tariq.
Yep, same here. My pleasure to be on the podcast today with you.
Honor to have you, sir. So we have here Tecziq, and it's in the app and software development space. Though it's much more than that. Tell us a bit about Tecziq and tell us a bit about yourself and your role in the company.
Sure. So I'm the founder of Tecziq Solutions. We started back in 2016. So just after my college, I joined a company called iShare Technologies, which was into technology. So that's where my technology journey started. And then I went to Samsung, worked with Aristocrat Technologies, which was into gaming. So got my hands dirty over there as well. And another part of mine is I love riding, going to the mountains on my bike. So that's another part which really is one of the things I think most founders as such, they should have something of that sort just to relax and get the clutter out of the brain. So back in 2016, when I started Tecziq Solutions, it was mainly into web and mobile application development. And then slowly, with the growth of technology, we saw there are different avenues wherein we can expand. And then cybersecurity came in, digital marketing was already there, machine learning, AI, all those things came up during this journey. And as a company, we adopted those things. And as of now, we are looking not only just into web and mobile applications, but also working with different SaaS companies, different companies like startups who are looking for MVPs or getting them to the faster to the market. We have also initiated working on AI, helping teams with process automation and stuff. So these are the things that we are into. We have another brand which is called T7 Gaming, which basically is into development of games. And I'm also director of one of the biotech companies in India, which is called G Biosciences, basically a US company, but they've got a branch in India for which I'm looking after all the operations over here, mainly with respect to sales and all. So that's about it, basically.
That's amazing. You're wearing many hats, Tariq.
Yep.
Many hats.
Yes.
So I guess I can start with Tecziq in the app market. Since there are about 4.5 million apps in the market and like 80% single use deletion rate, how does Tecziq approach market research differently to ensure the apps that you build are indispensable to users?
Right. So basically, being a service-based industry, we are basically developing apps for our clients. But a lot of times, like if it's a startup sort of a thing, or there are e-commerce companies who are coming into the market, we have developed their web applications, and they want to go into like mobile applications. So a lot of analysis has to be done with respect to the target market, because a lot of times you see there are companies who actually don't require the mobile applications as such. First of all, they have to grow into the web part of it and then go into the mobile part. A lot of time it's the other way around, wherein like if there is a application with respect to lifestyle or healthcare or finance, a lot of companies target like people have to use these things on the go. So it depends on the target market, target audience. And one of the major things is with respect to how much the budget is. So that is, again, another concern that we have to take care of. So web as such comes at a lower price with respect to development as well as marketing. So it's not only research and development, but also how marketable that particular product or that particular service would be. So these things we look into when we are looking at development of any mobile application for one of our clients.
So you take the request of these founders and companies and actually compare it to the available data on its applicability and let them know that this could waste a lot of your money if you wanted to build this. This could waste a lot of your time. So you're saving them tons of money, tons of time. That's what you're doing.
See, basically our approach from the beginning has been to be a sort of not a vendor as such, but maybe a tech partner for those companies, because it's a win-win thing. If we are working with a company who are starting up, we help them grow. So they're not going to leave us, basically. So it's a win-win situation. You grow, we grow type of situation that we work with. There are clients wherein it's like just a one-time thing. So those type of clients are also there, but most of the time we try to get into a relationship wherein it's a long-term client business.
So you actually foster the development of the company, foster the growth. It's not just you provide a service and then leave. You're there making sure that everything is going and functioning the way it should. Beautiful, beautiful. And if I can ask, Tariq, what have been some of your own challenges as a company, growing the company? What would you say tech companies face a greater challenge in acquisition or in retention these days?
I would say retention is not a problem as of now. I would say credit goes to COVID. Now you can get remote developers anywhere. Basically, we are sitting in India, a huge resource pool we have, and considering like earlier we had to have everyone in house. As of now, also we have most of the people in house, but we can still go out and get remote developers, remote designers. So that is retention part is something that's not a big problem. But I would say you're getting a good resource on board, like which matches both the aptitude as well as the attitude. So we have to look into those perspective, and that is something I would say is one of the most crucial aspect when you're looking at hiring. That it's not just the technical part, but will that person basically fit into the role and the culture of the organization as well or not? So that again is one of the things that we look into. So I would say, yeah, resource is not one of the challenges, but a major challenge sitting in India is for sure sales and marketing. I would say that's a huge challenge that we have.
Tariq, if I can ask, what are some of the most surprising insights Tecziq has uncovered through pre-development market research? I know you mentioned that you guys already do this, but what have been some of the surprising insights, and how have those insights shifted the entire direction of an app project? And I can imagine what you're about to say, but go ahead.
So basically, you see, one of the things that we have seen to basically change over a period of these like 8-10 years that we have been working with is the speed to market. Considering the new technology as well as this automation and AI coming into picture, a lot of things, a lot of dynamics has changed. So whenever we are doing analysis as of now, or even when the customers are coming in, most of the customers now they are talking about AI. A lot of times we have seen people don't understand what exactly is AI. It can be simply Chat GPT. So AI is equals to Chat GPT. So that's a lot of time that we have seen. But with respect to like pre-market analysis, I would say people are much more aware as of now as compared to what they had been earlier, even like the startups or the clients who are coming in. So they have got much more insight into the market, into the target customers that they have or that they're going to target as compared to what it has been earlier, wherein it was basically people were mainly working with the idea that they have. It was not with respect to solution of a problem. So earlier it was more of a this is my idea that I'm going to put in the market, as compared to this is a particular problem that the market is facing and we are going to solve it. I think a lot of credit for that goes to different startups. Like in the past, I would say 8-10 years, a lot of startups have come up. People have seen there are small problems, be it last mile delivery, be it delivering products in maybe 10 minutes or something. So these things people have seen, these are the issues that have been there. So these sort of analysis, you can say pre-development or pre-market analysis that people have been involved into now as compared to what they have been doing earlier. Basically.
Remarkable. And from just kind of taking back to what you said just a moment ago, how does Tecziq translate user behavior patterns into design principles that drive retention? I know you guys said that retention isn't a problem. And so what is about Tecziq that translate behavior patterns into design principles that drive retention and that drive long-term engagement? What is it that makes Tecziq so unique in this regard?
So basically, when we are developing applications, be it web application, mobile application, whatever, like I mentioned, one of the major things that we target on is the target customer. Okay, so there generally are a lot of products which are already in the market. We see, you can say, sort of competitor analysis that we have been doing to understand what is it which drives user to maybe install or use the apps. What is it that is basically helping a particular brand to retain their customers? So a lot of this analysis we have done mainly into, you'll say, in the gaming domain. So like with the advent of these gaming applications that have been coming up from in the Indian market mainly, a lot of focus has been onto the retention part of it. So even like when you are onboarding people, onboarding and then the people leaving as such. So that has always been something that has been a problem. But now you will see a lot of things like maybe gamification is there. So we also provide gamification for different applications. So we have tied up with different companies who provide gamifications. So that is one thing. Another thing that we have seen is with respect to even with like you will see like with Amazon. Now they have provide things wherein you can play. There are like different games and different contests they have put in. You play a particular game, or even if a product is being launched, they will ask questions. So different type of games that have come up inside these applications. Second thing is with respect to if there is an application wherein you can provide people to communicate, basically if there is a particular set user base as such. And if you can provide people a platform inside the application wherein they can basically converse with other users as well. So that again is something that helps people in retention, sort of you can say a community feeling that they can get inside the app. If that is something that again helps in customer retention, basically.
Beautiful. And Tariq, if I can ask, you probably don't have all the details on hand, but could you give us an example of one company that came in and that saw these results where they weren't seeing it before, that was kind of lost in the maze, and you kind of helped them along and provided these remarkable results for them? Is there a particular company that stands out to you?
If you won't laugh, then I will then let you know. So G Biosciences, which is basically the biotech company for which I am the director as well. So that was one of our clients which came back in 2017. We worked with them. We grew their business. We looked into the digital marketing. They had a very old .NET based website, very old looking legacy sort of an application. They had got inventory management application built on Access, MS Access. So you can imagine they have an order management system. So we basically converted all those applications into latest technology. We also developed an EDI system for them. So all those things over the past, I think 4-5 years, we worked with them, grew their business. It grew a lot basically. And then they came into India, and then I was appointed one of the directors basically.
Yeah, that's one of the best results I've ever heard of.
That's
It was so good they made you director in another one of their companies.
So basically, they came to India. So mainly India, considering India is a huge company. Research and all has been like even the Indian government has been putting a lot of focus on research and all. So basically, and G Biosciences, they provide basically products for the research industry, for research institutes and all. So that was one of the reasons they came into India. And then because we had a prior relationship and a good relationship, I would say. So I was considered basically.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Tariq, many developers struggle with feature bloat. They think that just adding another feature is going to solve all their problems. What is Tecziq's philosophy on identifying and prioritizing features during the design process?
Right. So we have this MSCW philosophy, wherein we tell the customers must have, should have, could have, and won't have. Okay. So you have to identify all these 4 parameters as such. So unless and until you identify these parameters, you are going to, like, every time you see something, you are going to put it in your application, and it would be a never-ending journey basically for you. So you have to understand, if you remove these, suppose if you're thinking about maybe 10 features, you remove five out of them. Remaining 5, is it going to solve the problem that you were focusing when you were building the application? If those 5 are solving the problem, okay, then go with these 5 first. Don't look at putting in all the 10 features that you're looking at. And over a period of time, follow a modular approach. Keep on adding new features, but unless and until it's not required, if you don't have a particular feedback from a customer, don't look at it. So MSCW. So that's one of the framework that we follow whenever we are talking to our client, because it happens whenever you're developing a product, you're a startup, you think like as many features as I can put into the application is going to basically be a hit, but it doesn't happen that way. It has to be like main features, main point that is going to hit on the pain point of your customers. That's the thing that you have to focus on.
It's funny. We use the same kind of format, except we have must have, nice to have, and shouldn't have, and that's it. So yeah, so that's such, because it allows you to see things simplistically. It allows you to focus on key and core features and not become distracted by the shiniest, newest thing. So definitely, hats off to you, Tariq, on that point. And Kind of, just to touch on that a bit more, if you would, could you share a case where simplifying an app's features led to a significant boost in the user satisfaction and business results? Because when you can simplify something, not only does it drive user experience, but that also means that you're continuously solving that problem, and which this allows for retention. Could you perhaps share a case with wherein the app's
Yes.
features were kind of honed into its most important core features?
Yeah, so we were working for a company. They were based out of France. I don't exactly remember the exact location in France. So they're called Vanlog. So they were into basically booking of camper van. So they were creating a marketplace wherein different owners of camper vans, they can come in, they can upload their vans over there, put in the details, and then other people can come and book those applications. Initially, when we started working on that project, the entire requirement as such for the project was very, very huge. Even when we were when the vendors were coming in and putting in their vans as such, the the client, he has maybe, I think, 80, 90 fields that had to be filled in by the vendors. So we basically tried to make him understand anyone who's coming in registering, and if he sees that he has to fill in a form which has got 80, 90 fields, he is going to say no and say goodbye to you, basically.
And you had to explain that to them.
That's right. That's right. It had to be explained because see, what happens is like being a camper van owner himself. Okay, he wanted things like each and everything in the van that's there has to be put in, and the customer has to see those things. But if you look it from a user perspective, a person who's going to book it, he is not going to look at all those multiple details as such. Even when we are booking hotels or we're booking flights and stuff, we don't go and look at each and everything, like maybe a plane, how big it is, how many seats are there. All those things we are not going to look at. So we had to explain that. Then he had a feature wherein the user can chat with the admin. The admin will chat with the camp fan owner. The camp fan owner will reply back to admin. He will reply back to basically the main customer. So there were different flows that were there, which were very cumbersome as such. Now, from our perspective, it would have been very good. The more complex the features, the longer we have to work, the longer he has to pay us. But again, we saw like this is something which is a good thing that can grow as such. So we tried to make him understand what are the different features that's required, what's not required, even with respect to they have got mobile applications as well. So one application was for the customers, one was for the main admin, another one was for the camper van owners, basically. So again, in those mobile applications, we wanted to let him know you have to for camper van owners, just keep the things that they require. Maybe when a request comes, they can have a look at it, approve, disapprove, make it as simple as possible. Later on, we can go ahead and add on features. So thank God he understood what was the dynamics, why those things should be required, not required. And then we completed the application. It was a good one, and he has been our client. We have been maintaining his product till now, so it's a good thing.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, user experience. That's really essentially what it's all about. Tariq, if I could maybe like shift a bit into the actual machinations of Tecziq. Tecziq emphasizes both manual and automated testing. How do you determine the right mix? Why is manual testing still critical in part of your QA process?
So when it comes to things like graphical and user interface, those are the part where I think manual testing still plays a major role as such. Even like we have been very much involved from testing perspective. We have been very much involved in game testing as such. We have been working with different companies who are basically testing companies and who basically utilize our resources for testing perspective. So from gaming perspective or from application perspective, I'm really sorry there's a call coming in.
No problem, no problem.
So yeah, to continue. So a lot of things with respect to user interface or user experience, it's something wherein you require the actual manual testing as of now. When it comes to maybe functionalities, wherein we can utilize like there are certain results that has to come, something that can be basically repeatedly has to be tested or something of that sort. Those are the things maybe that you can automate, even simple thing like login registration and stuff. You can use automation and test it out. But from a user perspective, when you're looking at onboarding as such, that is something, if you don't look at it from a human perspective or actual user perspective, it becomes difficult. You can test it out, for sure if everything is working or not. But from, again, user experience perspective, it's not a human who's testing it out. It becomes a little difficult to understand whether the thing is moving smoothly or not, or is it a hindrance with respect to maybe onboarding or maybe even the checkout process. Like if it's an e-commerce application, the checkout process is a one-page checkout, multi-step checkout, or something of that sort. So those are the things where manual testing, where human or user experience is required. I think that's where manual testing is still plays a very critical role.
Oh, absolutely. Given Tecziq's experience, what marketing mistakes do you see most startups making, or and how do you guide clients to avoid those same mistakes?
So we started off, we made a lot of mistakes as such by ourselves. We started, like I said, sales and marketing had been a critical area for us since beginning, and with the growth of so many IT companies in India, it still is a critical area where we have to keep on learning, basically. So one of the major mistakes that I see is with respect to getting short-term goals, be it with respect to sales or marketing, wherein a lot of people look at short-term goals instead of building the credibility and branding as such. So that's a major area where people don't focus. Even this is something that we also did initially when we started off with respect to marketing sales. We utilized LinkedIn, utilized email marketing, but the thought process was always short term: get a client, get a client, get a client, not build your brand. But later on, over a period of time, we fell, we got up, we understood, okay, it's not about getting clients, basically. It's about building a relationship. It's about building your brand. So once you have a brand, you have a credibility, you have relationship, things will fall in place. You will get clients, you will get customers who are going to stay with you. So building relationship and looking at every relationship with respect to a long-term relationship, that's one of the critical goals that marketing should take care of.
That's a beautiful point. That's a beautiful point. You guys also mentioned that, frameworks can make or break a project. How does Tecziq evaluate and choose the right development framework for each of your clients' needs?
So it varies from client to client, basically. A lot of times it depends on the time to market. A lot of times it depends on the features that are being required. A lot of time it also depends on how much budget the client has. So if you go for a niche kind of a framework or technology, but the client is not ready to pay for that kind of money, or if the time frame to go to market is quite faster. So based on these parameters, you have to decide what framework or what technology basically you can go ahead with. Apart from that, like, we also have got some limitations as such. We are not expert in each and every technology. So whatever technology we have, we try to cater to those buckets as well. So multiple parameters basically that we look into when we are finalizing a framework or a technology that we should.
In other words, you guys don't have a cookie cutter approach. You want to make sure that you can bring results, bring solutions to your clients. You don't just take anyone and just say, "Oh yeah, we'll do this."
That's right.
Amazing, amazing. And with growing concerns about data breaches, how does Tecziq embed security into the DNA of its apps beyond surface level features?
So we have got a team. Like initially, we had cybersecurity thing. Like I mentioned, like when cybersecurity came into play, we also got involved with it. So we are looking into this, like whenever we are creating applications or web applications or anything, especially if it's an e-commerce open application. We have got consultants as such. We don't have in-house people. We have got consultants wherein we take help from them with respect to penetration testing, vulnerability testing, and all those stuff. So that is something that we look into. We give our applications to those people. They try to break it, and then so that we can get a learning experience. And whatever we get, like if it's an e-commerce application, we get, okay, these are the kind of breaches that happened in this particular application, wherein we missed something out. Those are basically a learning or a knowledge point for us that we keep into our knowledge repository, and that is something that's again applied into our next project. So it's a learning process basically for us as well.
Beautiful. Tariq, I know you're a humble man, but I want to ask you this in case for the audience sets Tecziq apart from its competitors. What is it about Tecziq that makes it so untouchable, that makes it such a formidable force that prospects would be in the best hands coming to you as opposed to going to your clients?
So I would say being in a domain where, like,
Don't be humble. Don't be humble. You got
just being true to you, being in a domain where in each and every company that's coming up, is saying almost the same thing. Like being a service-based industry, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to provide you the best quality. I'm going to give you the best cost. So that's something that comes with each and every company. It's a no-brainer as such. Something that I can assure our customers or clients with whom we have been working is that with us, it's a partner approach. It's never a vendor or a client approach. It's always a partner approach. So every time we are working with any client, we look at building the relationship, because going after clients after clients is a difficult thing. Sales is a very difficult domain as such. But if it's something wherein we can basically build a relationship with our clients. So there are clients with us, like we started in 2016 basically, and there are clients who came with us in 2016, 2017, and they have been working with us till now. We had clients who worked with us for 4 years, 5 years regularly, continuously. We built the application, we grew the application, so we have been with them. So that's one thing that I can assure. Apart from that, saying that we deliver the best quality or most optimized cost, I can't guarantee that for sure. But yeah, if you come to us, you are in safe hands in a partnership sort of relationship.
Beautiful, beautiful. So it's not like a vendor, you said. It's a partnership. You're with them every step of the way.
That's right.
Amazing. And Tariq, who needs Tecziq? Who needs to reach out to you guys? Who is it that whose problems do you solve? Who is it out there that needs to reach out to you guys and see what you can do for them?
So I would say in the recent times, I think startups who are there who want to go to the market. We have got automations in place. We have got a lot of AI things that we started looking into. So we are looking at reducing the time to market. So if you are a startup who's looking to build an MVP, and it's not just building the MVP, validating your idea, getting feedbacks, looking at iteration, modular approach. So if you're looking at all those things, we can give you everything under one umbrella. So that's one part that we can provide. Another is mainly like the SaaS companies who are there. If you're looking at growing the market, if you're looking at maybe resources whom you can basically have a remote dedicated resources who can work for you. Because like I said, we have got team working in different technologies, so we can help those companies as well. So SaaS companies as well as startups who are looking for, like I said, a partner who can help them basically discuss their ideas, build the MVP with them, market it out, get them feedbacks, look at the iterations, get those things again done, and again get them back to the market. So those are the companies that we can work with for sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Tariq, how can we find you? Which websites? How can we find you? How can we get a hold of you and reach out to you guys over there at Tecziq?
So our website is www.tecziq, so Tecziq, tecziq.com. And or you can always email us at sales@tecziq.com. So those two, I think email is something that everybody is using nowadays. So those two are the major points where you can reach us. We also have like social media appearance on like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. So those again are places if you look at Tecziq Solutions, you can find us over there as well.
Amazing. Tariq, it was a pleasure and an honor to have you with us today, friend. And ladies and gentlemen, this concludes another great episode with great minds like Tariq Kamal and with Tecziq. And so if you guys enjoyed this episode, stick around for more. And until the next one, you guys take care. Bye-bye.